Namaste to all of you. Welcome back to my channel. This is Anvi Prabhu with you. So today I woke up to a strange, sad news, and as usual, there is a lot to unpack in the story here. Before we delve in, though, please make sure that you have subscribed to my channel, press the notification icon so that you don't miss out on any of my future episodes, and also like the video, share it, and join the conversation in the comments below. So this story is about a pet squirrel and a pet raccoon named Peanut and Fred. This happened in New York. Mark Longo and his wife had rescued a baby squirrel after his mother had been run over 7 years ago in Connecticut, named him Peanut, and he became an online superstar. He had over 600,000 followers on Instagram, and he was the first squirrel to reach 1 million on TikTok. And he was so popular that through the money that he made on Instagram and on other social media platforms, Mark moved to New York and started an animal rescue farm named after him called as Peanut's Freedom Farm, through which he currently has around 300 animals rescued and being cared for. The story with the raccoon is that somebody had dropped off an injured raccoon at the front door of his house, and Mark took him in, named him Fred, and he was allegedly intent on rehabilitating Fred and then release him back into the wild. And at the minute, he would spend time in an outdoor enclosure and in a room inside the house. So basically, there were these anonymous complaints by neighbors about the squirrel and the raccoon being inside the house. On Wednesday, the 30th of October, at around 10 in the morning, agents from the New York Department of Environmental Conservation, also known as the DEC, did a raid on Mark's property. They had a search warrant for the raccoon, and in a video that Mark himself has released, he has said that the raid lasted for about 5 hours, during which the agents seized both Peanut and Fred. And during this process, allegedly Peanut bit the hand of one of the agents involved in the investigation. So as soon as they were removed out from his house, both Peanut and Fred were euthanized. And in New York, the DC has said that the raid at Peanut's Freedom Farm was in response to complaints about Fred the raccoon, and apparently the squirrel wasn't even a concern at that time, but they allegedly happened to find him and they went for the raid. And so obviously they were concerned about public health matters because it was an illegal possession of wild animals within the domestic enclosure, and they have said that it had the potential to carry the rabies virus. So yes, it is illegal to have wild animals inside the house, and only if somebody has the license of a wildlife rehabilitator are they allowed to keep them inside the house. Also, only with the intent that they will eventually release the wild animal into the wild once the animal has been rehabilitated and has been cured, depending on the circumstance. So coming to Mark's case, he has had Peanut the squirrel for over 7 years, and he has said somewhere on his social media that there was a time when he tried to release Peanut back into the wild, but Peanut ended up getting injured, so he had to take him back, take him to the vet and get him cleared, because obviously he couldn't survive on his own in the wild. And one of his own Instagram posts also says that when it comes to Fred the raccoon, yes, there was a legal document missing for his possession, and that was literally the only reason why the animal was euthanized. Now, even given all the lack of the supposed legal paperwork or whatever, I personally completely fail to see the reason why both the animals should have been euthanized so immediately. Because when you talk about rabies, it's not a disease that just springs up out of nowhere. Symptoms starts showing, and you have to be in contact with another animal that is infected with rabies, and you have to have been bitten by it or scratched by it, or there has been transfer of saliva. Only then will the uninfected animal be infected by rabies. And if they are infected by rabies, they don't survive for more than 2 weeks. And also, it's not just the squirrels or the raccoons, but literally every other pet animal, like a dog, for example, can have rabies. So was there literally no process apart from immediately euthanizing them to see if there was any alternative possible, to see if the paperwork could have been done quickly or the process, speeded up for Mark? And as I said, given this particular situation, there is absolutely no immediate threat or danger to anyone because of these animals. And even the raccoon, he was always inside the house and he was being treated, and Mark has said that the intention was to release him back into the wild when he was completely ready. And even with Peanut, he has said that he was in the process of registering him as an educational animals, because apparently you don't get licenses to keep, like, wild animals inside the house, which is why he was trying to register it as an educational animal. So was there like literally no other alternative apart from killing them? Like, how much more sad can a person be in their own life to have gone and done this? If the neighbors or whoever did the complaint were really, really concerned, it could have been literally solved with a conversation with Mark and his wife, or even if they had to make a complaint, fine, let's play the devil's advocate. Fine, they were really concerned about health and safety and public health and whatever. So they did the complaint. Couldn't the agents have done literally anything else apart from killing them? They could have been kept in solitude. They could have been kept caged until they were made sure that they had all the, because as I said, the pet squirrel had been taken to the vet as well, and he was living with them for over 7 years. So was the raccoon. Not 7 years, but he was also with Mark for quite a long time. And rabies just does not show up out of the blue. So wasn't there literally any other alternative other than killing the animals? And even if you say that it was Mark's fault because he did not have the legal paperwork, why were the animals punished for his fault? Like, I would have been totally okay if Mark had been given, like, I don't know, some punishment for the lack of having legal paperwork. Like literally nothing was done. And the most immediate reaction is to just go and kill them? Like, help it make sense. And it was all out in the open. As I said, he was a social media star, the squirrel. And it was not that Mark was doing something in secret, like he wasn't hiding them in his house and like not letting anybody know, which would have really warranted, concern from the neighbors if they happened to catch a glimpse of something like a wild animal inside the house. It was all out in the open. It was like in social media. So no matter how I look at the argument, from which angle I look at it, I cannot find a reason to justify the euthanization of Peanut and Fred. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I hope Mark and his wife and his family get all the support that they need in times like this. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and as usual, please make sure that you join in the conversation in the comments below. I love listening to all of your thoughts, and yes, I do read all of your comments, even though sometimes I'm not able to reply to all of them. So make sure you join in the conversation, and until next time, take care.